Hello people and welcome to watch yet another Carcassonne Champions League pre-season match or qualifier match. This is the lower semifinals of Q1 and the match, as you can see by the title stream or by the stream title, is gonna be the Japanese player Snow Island versus what the Snow Island versus Daniel Ayala of Mexico with the screen name Daniel Ayala94. Now, first of all, the state of both of these players seems to be quite kind of far away from their peak at the moment, especially for Snow, as both of these players have reached the 700 elo threshold on BGA, so the master rank. But currently, Daniel is sitting somewhere in like 580s, 590s, and Snow, on the other hand, at 450, so very far away from their peak rating, which I'm not sure if he is currently doing all that well. But we'll see how he's going to be able to handle it against the Mexican expert. Well, or should I say master? No, I think I will stick with expert. Um, and especially now that we are in the lower semifinals, it's gonna be a bad thing if you are not in shape, because uh, the stakes, of course, of this match are such that the winner goes to the lower final, and the loser is going to get eliminated from this competition. So there's not much room for mistakes, if any at all. Of course, both of these players have one loss and one win under their belt, with Daniel Ayala taking his first loss against David Faraci in the round one, and then winning against Jānis Ansens of Latvia. And then for Snow Island, started off decently well against James 81 of Italy, but then got hit by a wall named Bossi 118. So against what was it, Pavel Hudek? Bossi? Don't count on that. I might recall wrong. Yeah, let's just not make any namely mistakes here. So let's just call Bossy and leave the rest of it up to the mystery of you, the viewers, to do some fact checking. The winner of this match, of course, in the lower finals, as I said, and he'll be playing against either David Faraci or James. So we might just be having a rematch of an earlier round one match. So might have either a rematch of Snow Island versus James, or a rematch of David Faraci versus Daniel, which would be pretty interesting indeed. We should be starting the games in about, well, a minute or so, maybe even less. Seem to be online, and probably what we're going to be seeing is the slow time format with real time, as that is the default these days. And this will, of course, be the only stream of today. there weren't many games to be played all together. There was Karapushan versus Vasimir earlier today, streamed by Uce, but this is the second and the last game of today. And in the weekend, we will be having a bunch of matches, most of them on Saturday, as you can see on the 13th. So that tomorrow will be quite a busy day. Although not entirely sure whether I'll be streaming all that much. Most likely not actually, as I do have other plans. Let's see if Snow is actually online. Well, they are. And they have set up the table. No earlier encounters for these players, despite Daniel having a bit more than 5,000 games played on BGA, well, of course, like Carcassonne, of course, and Snow Island just under 2,000 or so, like 1,800 games for Snow. Real-time slow time format with 40-second increment is what we are going to be having, with alternating starting player, and the first dips on the starting player is going to be taken by the Japanese player, who will, well, if they go by the book, are going to be taking either, well, are going to be meepling the monastery from either end, creating a 3-point road up for grabs and the city as well, but they do not go for the traditional opening, and this like I don't really want to say that this is the reason that they are at 448, but but like usually when you are deviating from the book, even on these very early moves, like it usually tells a tale that Snow doesn't really go by the book on like elsewhere either. Welcome, Juan Alvarez. Nice to see you here. Attacks the city and creates the 4-point road, which Daniel could take, but he would be leaving an empty city cap lying around if he does so. And it would also be, he would also be forced to further develop the monastery like afterwards if he were to take the road, which he does not. He just goes for the city cap in the only spot that does not give a point to the monastery of red. So justifiable, but I mean this road is going to be taken at some point and it is going to be juicy. Also, there is going to be a chance for a large field to be created, like a curve here, another curve here, and then all of a sudden we have this 3, 6, 9, maybe 12 point field, which will be fought for. And now, if I'm Daniel, I think I'll just honestly go here and just claim the road, like from this side. Yeah, because like I think it was like the only reasonable move you could really do with the straight road. Now, could go over here, start a monastery, or go over here, which I think would be slightly better, because it will then control the city. It will also then take away the monastery stacking option from red, but does go for another monastery spot, which is good as well, because then he decides to control, well, kind of like control his own features, but like not really control, but he's gonna try and take like max advantage of those features. So whenever he is gonna progress those features. He's also going to progress the monasteries, so two features are gonna get progressed at the same time with basically any tile, with city tile or with a road tile. We do see the restriction to a crossroad, so cutting the road in half, and we also see a restriction move from Daniel using a shielded tile to try and hinder the completion of the City of Snow, which is fine. Um, now there are a lot of tiles still to go into this square, like 10 tiles to be precise, and it is likely to get filled, I would say. But now the only thing for Snow though is that he cannot actually claim this road and meeple the road and just start waiting for the four remaining field Doritos, because then he would be creating the blocking square on this city and the monastery. Also goes for a like a half Ukrainian move without a meeple, which is just a restriction move, and denies the loop from Daniel, which is a nice move indeed. But I think I certainly would have preferred this with a meeple, given that Daniel is certainly having the incentive to go here with a meeple. But I think like one potential uh, uh, risk, well, sort of a low risk, I guess, um, that Snow there had was maybe a cow going into this square and then forcing this guy, of course, to most likely become a ruin, and also because there's only one divider remaining, then likely this guy would also get sucked into the same ruin slash a city, which would not be as tempting or juicy for Snow. Now, for Daniel, there are a couple of options. First of all, he could go actually over here and even like double down on getting the field, um, or even on double down getting the field crossroads. But I mean, he does it, but he does it without a meeple, which I don't really like. The second option was, of course, to go over here, take 2 points, and do a tempo move of potentially being able to block both of these features, the city and the monastery. But it wouldn't be like a high probability move to succeed. To say at the very least, it would be like one of the lowest probability moves that I think he would he would have. Yeah, but I think a meeple here would have been nice because there are still four crossroads, and then when we get the crossroad, we are not only going to get the meeple back, we can also meeple this road and also expand this 6 point field more in the future. But not the route of the game. Quick points are scored for both players, with the second divider being drawn by Daniel. And also the second road monastery is now being drawn by Daniel as well, though not a particularly great place for it, but I guess you could just like go here, meeple it. You had three meeples, and I mean this is gonna create another field because with another road tile it's gonna be a 9 pointer, which actually like at this point I would say that it's more likely that red will actually take that, even though red currently has less meeples in his hand. But this meeple is easily recoverable, this meeple is easily recoverable, and so those two meeples are gonna get back into red's hand most likely. Daniel, do I mean you could actually go for this. You could go here, drop another farmer, but maybe with 44 tiles remaining, maybe he's not as keen on using, or let's say dropping himself down to only one meeple with not really many meeples to be able to be recovered as at least soon enough. He does go for it still. I mean, it is the highest scoring move, so there is that. But he's gonna face an issue because he's gonna be now needing city bus road tiles here and here, and some city bus road tiles also act as quick point tiles. So city crossroads and also the triple cities with a road might might have a use somewhere else. And Snow Island with a couple of road tiles goes for the blocking route and seems to be having some success as Daniel does not draw anything useful for him. Can't really do anything with the field Doritos. Um, yeah, like it's really kind of ugly to go here because it doesn't really allow like any decent blocks, and it would be just building up the opponent's monastery. Like Daniel will be waiting for road tiles to go here, um, or here after he finds a tile to get away from the situation first. But before that, I don't think he'll be doing anything to either of these cities. Now he could go, well, I guess over here, and he does, though it does leave a potential city for Snow Island to grab, but given that he already has two open cities, well, basically three open cities elsewhere, it's not as likely that he would be taking the open one. Also had the chance to actually fully block here, but decided to just take the meeple back. And Daniel now facing kind of an annoying decision. Now he could go over here, he could try and save his meeple, but I wouldn't go there. Yeah, I would do much rather this one. Given that this wouldn't actually be a full save, it would still be possible to block the monastery with a curve or with a dagger. Whereas this is going to advance the recovery of two meeples, and it is also going to be like mitigating the blocking chances of Snow Island of this monastery here. It is now no longer even possible to do without blocking the 2-point city as well. Cannot see the crayons. Oh, hold up. Hold up. Oh! What the? I specifically said this before the stream. That's... Wow. I so wish I would have been informed earlier. That is unfortunate. Thank you for the now informing me about this, and welcome to the stream, Helge. So now this should be a thing, and it is. Yeah, this I think the crayons would have been really useful earlier on because it can be like really difficult for pretty much anyone to follow unless they can like see like where exactly I am pointing to, especially like if you don't have like several thousand games experience, then it might take a while to like realize what I'm talking about. City Crossroad for Snow, just taking the 2 points, which I do fancy. Do I? I think I do. It does create a nice Dorito triple city shaped combo here, but I might be in favor of it for red, given that he has an extra meeple compared to Daniel. And now that city now no longer exists. it is not really possible to be completed. There are no dividers remaining, so it would require like a Dorito, and 2 city caps, which is really unlikely to happen, especially in this type of game. Especially in this type of game when there are not too many meeples in players' hands, and everything kind of seems to be more or less stuck. Snow again with a quick point scoring tile does go for the 2 points. Daniel also could have gone for the 2 points, but this is of course much stronger. Going for the completion of the road with actually still all 4 of those field crossroads remaining. First of which goes to Snow. Now, does he take the points over here? I mean, he could, given that he doesn't actually have more than like 1/8, one eighth of a chance to draw all the 3 remaining crossroads as well. Now, of course, if he goes here, he's not only going to create this 5-point road, but also going to be and give back the meeple to blue and take this 4 points, but also like he's not guaranteeing the liberation of his own monastery whilst he does give back the meeple to blue. So certainly not really something that you would be liking to do as the player with the red meeples. Didn't even think about it until the middle game is the crayons. Yeah. Oh, I mean that's good then. Or maybe you're a special type of good player for understanding my gibberish. Welcome Napalm. Welcome Aura. So does take the 4 points and creates the 5-point road, which Daniel immediately claims, and there is an unsuccessful attempt of trying to, of trying to uh, save the square, which Daniel should be blocking, and he does. Timely so, as Snow was gonna go for the salvation of both of his meeples, with still 2 vanilla city caps to go over here and 2 starting tiles. Now there is an attack to the 9-point field, well actually to now a 12-point field from Snow, but I feel like this is gonna go down very horribly for him, because first of all, he is at a meeple disadvantage. Now, secondly, not only is he at a meeple disadvantage, and by the looks of it, a great meeple disadvantage of that, but also now Daniel has three meeples in his hand, and he is already controlling the field with 2-on-1 majority. Like, there is absolutely no possibility going in my head in which Snow comes out on top on this field fight. Like, there is no possibility. I guess, with this move right here, like you shouldn't really go for the fields like before you have like found out what happens onto this square. Like, is it gonna be possible to recover these meeples? Like, if it is not, then like you would then immediately be able to see that there is really no future for you on the field. Like, you gotta figure out something else. Maybe create a counter field and control it with just one farmer, which would be efficient. But now, at the moment, it's a wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, a 24-point field with majority for blue on it and with 2-1 meeples in their hand to also keep the majority on it in almost every single scenario. And how do we exactly execute that? Well, actually, given that Daniel is ahead by 21 points on the scoreboard, he could do something like this. He could go over here, create 2 unfinished cities and just drop a third farmer. Like, the blocked the blocked features of Snow are, well, first of all, these 2 ruins are equal here. Then Snow has 7 points on this monastery, 8 points on this one, so that's 15, and then 5 on this one, so plus 20. And this road puts him at plus 7 again, so plus 27, plus 23. This 9-point field is going to be plus 14, and then this field of 24 points is going to be plus 10 for Daniel. And if he just keeps his grasp on it, I think he will be unlikely to say at least to lose this game. And he does exactly that, so he goes for the third farmer and creates the 2 open cities. And now pretty much the only thing that Daniel has to do is to, I guess, maybe he can recover this meeple, but just like mainly score quick points. And Snow still goes for the field. Like, I I don't know, like, really what to think about this. Well, is it really his only possibility to actually win this game? I don't really think so. Like, I don't think this is going to increase the winning chances of Snow. Like, there are still tiles to go here, I think, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are still 2 curvy tiles. Plus, Daniel can connect from the other end as well, from the other side as well. And then Snow needs to get even the third farmer to the field somehow. Well, actually, that's kind of easy to see how, because there are multiple field entry points. There is an entry point over here. There is an entry point over here, which actually, yeah, this is kind of like the perfect tile to go for this field attack, or this field unification for Daniel, because it does not create an easy connection at the bottom. So now Snow with a monastery cannot really do all that much, just goes for a 1 point move, does not even try to get his meeple back from the monastery and score big time on it. Or maybe he does. No, I really don't think he was gonna go there, because it seems like the plan of Snow is to just try and at least equalize this field. But yeah, this 1 pointer is not really gonna help him do that, especially after the straight road of Daniel, with which he's going to be able to unify the fourth meeple to the field. And now the field is entirely lost for Snow. There is no possibility of him getting even equal on the field, and we see that these 2 meeples have been lost. Now, arguably, though, it was worth at least 6 points, I guess, this meeple here. Of course, plus, the meeple back from the road was nice, but not even necessary, I think. Um, well, not necessary as in to drop this farmer, um, but it got something done. Though, like, it's not going to cover the field. Like, the field is now 10 cities, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Actually, 11 cities, 33 points, and with 9-point lead already for Daniel. So that's 42 points, 46 points. 41 plus 8 and 8 and plus 1. So plus 24 for Daniel, if my calculations are in order, which I think I missed this 5-point ruin here. But let's say 35. No, 35. Like 19. But in any case, like, easily an insurmountable amount of points for Snow to come back from. Grabs the 2-pointers and the 1-pointers, but it will never be enough. dagger for Snow. Could be getting this 5-point road here, perhaps. Maybe just adding a 1 point to his ruin, which is what he does. But I don't actually think there will be a better scoring tile for him in the deck, unless it is either a Dorito or a Triple City. But there seems to be quite a lot of those on the board. And well, there was actually, but it kind of works against Snow because he had the chance to take a 5-point road plus then get this a 2-point extension to his ruin. But now he goes for a 5 plus 1-point move, so net -1 loss there. Not that it's going to really matter. He's going to be losing by like 20 points or so. But a teeny tiny inaccuracy there for Snow in the end game as well on the final tiles. Can't remember last time I saw an 11 city field. Yeah, those are pretty rare, I have to say, especially in competitive games. Usually there is gonna be like slightly more closed position. Well, closed in the sense that like it's like the field is not going to um, like have expanded from all the way like the southern side of the board to the northern side or vice versa from east to west. But yeah, this doesn't really this doesn't did not really look like a position which was like necessary to get to for Snow, like all the way from the very beginning, starting with his road monastery um, position of choice of position. Daniel hops into a 1-0 lead, and we go into the second game. Starting with a choose road monastery, and we'll see if Daniel is going to choose the otherwise, and he certainly does. Goes for the default spots, goes for the setting up the 2-point road, which he immediately also claims to a 3-pointer with the Snow taking the city, also finding a nice monastery for himself as well. Field Dorito for Daniel starts a new city, trying to be trying to be like extremely efficient with his city choice, and more so extremely safe, because this move right here is like basically made just so that that Snow cannot get like a city cap or an extender or a cowl and attack the city like straight away. It also does protect this road a little bit, and it's also going to allow a meeple to be placed on the field immediately if Daniel does manage to get his hands on like a city cap. But even this tile could be used over here. Snow goes for an interesting choice actually. I'm not sure if I agree with it, but sure, I think like going over here would have seemed a bit more juicier, I want to say. Just leaving Daniel battling with his 3-pointer and also being controlled by the monastery, but instead finishes the 6-point city, starts a new one. But this field is looking like it is gonna get picked up by Daniel on this very move. Now I think the strongest move for Daniel would be to go over here and drop a farmer, so indirectly continue his road, though this is not really usually the move that 500 rated players would go for, and neither does Daniel. But this is certainly a move that I do like to make quite a lot actually, continuing my features indirectly and creating some attacking or blocking platforms at the same time, like just controlling the geometrics of the board a bit at the same time. City cap for Snow goes for okay. Sees the city of Daniel as a bit of a threat, and I mean a threat it is, but I think I would still have maybe gone over here, though I'm not exactly sure what the plan of the city for Snow is. Like if he's trying to wait for sure, I guess, like a tile like this, which I wouldn't say is like the like particularly great use for it. Like it's not the most efficient use for it. Like it would be much juicier, I think, just to go over here. But oh my lord, we might be seeing some fireworks from Daniel as he gets a wonderful opportunity to block both of these meeples. Doesn't happen just yet, but the chances of this block happening seem to be much better for Daniel than the saving chances are for Snow. Even though there are still 7 tiles to go into the square, and he gets one of those immediately. So there is that. So looks like well, sacrificing this road monastery for the attempt to save the square. Well, it actually ended up being like maybe not even worth it, even though I mean the 3-point road was scored, but still I might have preferred to go like somewhere over here, maybe stack some stuff. But it would be kind of a difficult trigger to pull, especially when you only would have one meeple, and just to and when the possibility of getting 2 of your meeple struck on the very next move of your opponent is going to be alive, then yeah, not like the most intuitive move usually then is to just chuck anything really over here to try and restrict the blocking square. But the point really being in all of that explanation is that you like whenever you go for these semi-saves, you should really like give it a thought and think how many tiles after that move will you have to save your meeples, and how many tiles will your opponent have at his disposal to block everything immediately. And if those odds are too much against you, maybe going there is not really such a good idea, even especially with a point scoring tile like this. But so much has happened before that. After that, we have a road being finished by Snow. We have a city being finished by Snow. Some quick points being taken by Daniel, and the road being claimed by Red as well. Also, the Monastery of Snow has survived, and it has been recovered. And for Daniel now, what's he gonna do? I mean, he's gonna go somewhere on his field for sure, but where exactly that is kind of up for grabs. This is a decent move. It's actually a very safe square to start a new city from on your field, whilst at the same time like retaining the chances to like even get like a bunch of Doritos or triple cities and go for the steal of this entire thing right here. Chooses to ignore this completion threat of the 8-point city of Snow, just gets the meeple back, which I would not exactly say that I would be really on the same page for Daniel, but whatever. I did see like Rabbit also, the Japanese player Rabbit Rain also foregoing attacking these 3-point cities, and it didn't really work out all that well for him, I think, in the end, if I recall correctly, or at least I didn't like the move uh, all that much, which I saw at the time. And this city is now certainly a threat of being finished as a 10-pointer. For Daniel, though, does get a good tile, though not not the most lucrative use cases for him with it. Could go over here, I guess, start a new city, and direct, I guess, the city cap to the left, because then, like, whatever goes into this square, it would be a more valuable tile than a regular curve, or yeah, that it would be more valuable tile than a regular curve, which could which could otherwise be used to block if you are to direct the caps to the right and to the bottom. So of course you want to use, or you want to force your opponent to use like more valuable tiles for blocking than he would like to, and this is kind of exactly what I'm talking about. So now Snow is gonna go over here. He's gonna use a regular curve, a very um, non-value tile to block the monastery, be up in meeples, and he also has no issues building his monastery of his own. Also, the city is still very much alive. The road is alive. Like, everything is alive for Snow, and really everything that Daniel has going for him is that he has the control of the field, which is currently in a very decent shape. It's at 12 points for the main part, and he has used the second meeple to make sure that that the field is gonna stay in his control. Also, having this empty city cap is gonna be nice. But the long-term super meeple minority might be biting him later on, might make his life quite annoying. There's also just like these counterfields that Snow Island can simply start by, for example, going over here with a curve. Then we like first up take the road. We finish the loop road. We meeple a 6-point field, and we have then some room. We have some green squares to make a counterfield from, and because there are no road monasteries remaining in the deck, there is not even a threat of this main field getting unified with the 6-pointer, or even with the bigger counter field. Daniel really giving his time thinking what to do with the straight road, and he decides to simply try and make the completion of this monastery a tad bit more difficult, and to more so deny the monastery, the rather nice monastery spot that Snow Island had, which is now no longer the case. We could now go for the full block if we wanted to, but ideally we would like to go for the full block by getting the 4 points from this road and making the blocking platform with tempo. But there is only one such tile that allows us to do that, so most likely Daniel will not be idling and waiting for that one tile. I think he could very well just go over here. Ooh! Well, ain't this nice? Actually, this is a wonderful move by Daniel. Yeah, it's actually, I think, like a much better move than this one that I was suggesting. So first of all, uh, he reduces the amount of tiles that Snow can use to recover this meeple, like by a long mile, and also of course makes this blocking spot, the blocking platform, which he is immediately gonna be able to use, and he uses, and now equalizes the blocked meeple of the monastery with the blocked meeple to the road, and is also up on that mini battle. Also gets the one and only tile that would allow him to get those 4 points and make the blocking platform with tempo. Now that does end up being a bit of a mess, but still a very decent position for Daniel. This road actually might be a bit too much because I don't think there are too many road ends remaining. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's only one crossroad. There are no road monasteries. And, well, there are 2 triple cities with a road. So three road ends. But the road ends, like, honestly, could very well be used over here, for example, to take 3 points for Daniel. So I don't really think that this road is going to be all that good, especially when he only had 2 meeples, and like none of those meeples on the board are going to really find themselves back. Also, what is this? Something that I don't like at all. Like, I think it would have been much, much better for Daniel to just simply go over here and add a city cap to his field. Like, this like takes away a curve from the arsenal of Snow of getting like a chance to get a 6-point field. Like, that's genuinely all this does. The city cap is blocked. There are no more daggers to fit there. But like, I honestly do believe that it was much, much better for Daniel to go here, especially with only having one meeple in his hand. Like, he's gonna need a meeple back. And now he's gonna get blocked here anyway, so this meeple will not be connecting, and it would be certainly really nice to have a possibility to expand your field. But not the case. And yeah, actually, this position is kind of turning to look pretty. I'm not gonna say good for Snow, but like kind of decent. He's up by +1. This monastery is in a winning mini battle against the road by +5, so that's +6, which is equalized by this field right here. This is an equal city slash ruin. 8 points for this monastery versus the 4 points for this road. And if red manages to equalize this main field of 12 points, then red will be at -4 with 1 extra meeple, which is okay. Like, those 4 points can be scored, for example, like right here with a 6-point field. But there's no reason to rush on taking the field because there's also another one of those. Now, how many straight roads are there exactly? There's 1, there is 2, 3, 4, 5. There are still 3 straight roads. So the connection to this main field is quite likely with 10 tiles remaining only. So, ooh, okay. The meeple on this city cap, I think, is not needed, like, at all, because if Daniel takes that, then there's gonna be a secondary entry point to the field, which Snow could use his meeple advantage for. But now Daniel doesn't really have even another option. He's just gonna go here, I reckon. Or does he bother? Does he bother going over here and trying to block the connection to the main field? He might do that. He might. Let's see how many city caps there are actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Well, still 4 city caps actually. It's pretty good. Plus the 3 regular roads, well, regular straight roads, now only 2. But given that there's like 6 tiles in the deck out of 10 that will provide very, very good use for Snow. And those are pretty decent odds. Now, the curve is certainly not one of those tiles. Um, as a matter of fact, he barely has anything to do with this. Now he gets the meeple back, gives 3 points to Daniel, but it also gives a possibility for Daniel to get the meeple back, and he does immediately. And then that small exchange is going to result in -2 points, actually -3 points for Snow, and also Snow gets yet another tile out of the plentiful deck which he just cannot really use. Goes for the potential 2 extra points, which is fine, sure. Daniel with 2 meeples could be just scoring a few quick points over here for 2 points, or we could go over here and meeple the road, and maybe then get a city cap over here and block the connection still, even though there are 2 straight roads remaining. So I would say that it's not really likely that we get the block, but we still have to use the meeples to something, and we might as well like create the possibility for us to make a full block on the connection, right? Because this is after all a must-have connection for Snow to the main field. So starting this, he was down by -4, -3, and then this. So Snow is like -6 actually. -5. So -5 with equal meeples, and yeah, -5 if he gets to this field. So first of all, Snow absolutely has to get to this field. He has to assume that he gets a straight road, and then he's gonna also need, well, he's gonna need to have to meeple that road, because otherwise he's gonna be left with a meeple surplus, because he's gonna finish this city also, like I think with quite a decent chance, and then he's gonna drop a farmer there, so that's gonna be 7 points. Gonna put him at +2, but I honestly, like, even so, like if Daniel just goes over here now, I think he has tremendous chances to win, because like when he goes here now, it's not so much that he misses out on the quick points, but he's going to deny Snow from meepling this road, and because Snow has to go on this road, Snow very likely will be left with a meeple surplus because he cannot use them meeples. No, wait. Okay. Okay. Well, that's certainly something. Also, why did I... Was it just me? Or did anyone else see a triple city with a road in Daniel's hand? Did I hallucinate that badly? What the... I mean, like this is fine, of course, but like, and a decent find. Where's the third horse? Where is the third horse? There's one horse here, second here. Where the fuck is the third horse? Huh? What the... What the fuck? F5? Oh. Well, ain't that interesting? Okay, so whilst I was blabbering, then apparently PGA decided to not show the moves which were made in the game, and Daniel did indeed just take the 2 points here. And then afterwards went for the cities. Yeah, well, that is unfortunate that I now don't really have the full awareness of in which order the tiles came and were used, but Daniel still ends up with a 17-point win with thanks to this 8-point city, getting 3 points on this field, an extra farmer over here, and even the 6-point farmer on top of that. Yeah, and I am certainly not hallucinating. There was certainly this tile in the hand of Snow, which we just failed to, well, I guess update onto the screen because of BGA's bugs. So yes, yeah, definitely a triple. Okay, well, we yeah, well, I have no idea why Snow didn't meeple this road, or did he? Did Snow meeple this road? Oh, I'm gonna have to rewatch this. Well, let's just score the match point for Daniel. But let's take a look at the final tiles here because we did kind of miss them. So to about, I don't know, 125 or so. This looks good. So we have the road Dorito going over here. And now where we left off with the triple city with the road. So Daniel didn't he just take the 2 points, and I think that the next tile of Snow was a straight road, but it was not. Decided to go here for a 3-point move and wanted to get a city cap. But like this move doesn't like really make all that much sense, I think, because like Snow already needs the city cap over here, right? And it's gonna be a 7-point move over here, just as much as it would be over here. Now the thing is that Snow is gonna still want, of course, the straight road. He's gonna have to use one tile over here and probably a meeple as well. So like this field does nothing for him. Like even if he gets the straight road, it'll never be used over here. It'll be used over here. So this is basically just a waste. What he actually could have done, what Snow could have actually done, is maybe even like gamble big time, do something like this, and to set up a possibility for him to get this crossroad, and to then double down on the field, double down on, well, first of all, like getting just that very specific 2-tile sequence of getting the crossroad, dropping another farmer here, getting the straight road. But I'm not sure if he needs that. Well, let's see. Let's see the points so at this moment. So we are at +1 as red. This is equal. This is +5. -3, -9, -7. Yeah, -7 for Snow with equal meeples. Assuming we connect here, so we have to get the tile anyway, of course. Which puts us, yeah, after this with the road. I mean, there's no way we can actually like win, can we? Because we get the city cap of 7, which puts us even, and then this road for 4, and all Daniel has to score is 4 points. So like we need like something much bigger, and that something much bigger is exactly this, I think. We put our faith onto going over here and to getting this crossroad first. Well, of course, we have to dodge Daniel getting anything useful, which would be basically we would be relying on Daniel getting like a vanilla to go over to go I don't know over here wherever, and to not be able to do anything onto this square, to not deny us the possibility of going with the crossroad. Well, that's not entirely true. I mean, he could still deny the possibility, but it would be just like a less efficient move for Daniel to make. So we go here, we get the crossroad, we double down on the field, and we get the straight road, and we not only score the 12 points, but we also score those double, because we first take the points off from Daniel, and then we score them for ourselves. So plus 24, plus the road actually as well, so plus 6 from that, so plus 30. Uh, Taking the 4-point road at the bottom right with horse would have been a huge mistake. Still, dagger plus rose plus 2 straight roads out there for red to take over the field. Yeah, that does make sense. I wasn't aware of the remaining tiles at the time. So talking about this horse right here, like I was saying, I was kind of focusing more on the snow. Oh yeah, focusing more on snow's like must need um, like situation to use his meeples. But if we go here with the cow, then Snow can get a city crossroad over here. Drop the second farmer, and or just a dagger, drop the second farmer, and have like a 22-point sequence there in 2 moves. But actually I think there's also something interesting even here. We could go here, right, with the triple city with the road, and go on the field and set up a straight road for ourselves. Although maybe that's not really a thing to do, given that we already need snow to draw one of those. But there are still two straight roads, right? So one for snow, one for us. We score 7 points here. Score the road, expand the field. I kind of like it. Yeah, for snow, should be me pulling this road, I think. Because like if we get the final the final straight road, then I mean yeah, sure, we could have input a 6-point field, but like we could have just added it here for 5 points, and then Daniel doesn't, and then that Daniel finishes this, doesn't get the field, but we are more likely to just finish our city, and then we would be getting 1 point less, because we will be meepling the 3-point field and not the 4-point road. The game was done at this point. Yeah, I mean I am aware, but like who cares? Like you can still make better moves, and especially when you have nothing to lose at that, and like at that point you don't even have like the time pressure. Like then it's the perfect opportunity to make better moves. Maybe for you it isn't. Maybe for you it isn't. Maybe it's more about like if you know you're lost, then some people then some players just stop caring. But at least for myself, I'm not one of those. Yeah. Okay. Well, Daniel finds a nice combo there in the end to take advantage of the fact that he knows that Snow needs to that Snow needs to draw at least one of the straight roads, and there was a plentiful amount of city cabs left in the deck for Daniel to finish the 8-pointer and to score some big points in the end, getting the rather comfortable win for himself and a 2-0 over the Japanese opponent. Daniel moves to the lower final, and he's gonna be, as said, he's gonna be playing against either David Faraci or or which is it? A, of course not. B, of course not. It's always the final one. C, there we go. So either against David Faraci or against James 81. Congrats to Daniel and to our Mexico fans. And unfortunate news for the Japanese fans, of course, as Snow Island is eliminated. But there are still plenty of Japanese players in the qualifiers and also in the main stage as well, or going to be, as there is an everlasting amount and force of talented Japanese players out there. They are always everywhere when it comes to bigger competitions. Now, as said, future matches tomorrow. A lot of games, a lot of matches are gonna happen, but likely I will not be streaming any of them, as I will have some other arrangements. From like before my own match, and then of course I will be playing at 1500 UTC my own match against Phosphate. Might be seeing some streaming on Sunday, but it will depend on my schedules, like outside the game. Yeah, you are indeed late, Imbu. Unfortunately, so you have missed all the fun. But not to worry, there will be, of course, more streams in the future, so plenty of content for you to watch. For now, I have no guarantees on when the next stream is going to be, but they will be appearing on the channel on a short notice, so stay tuned for those. And that's where we'll be wrapping up. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in all the way until the end. And if you did enjoy this type of Carcassonne content and would like to see more of it, then there is an easy way to support the channel by subscribing, by liking the video or the stream. Or if you are watching afterwards, then do leave a comment in the comment section and let me know what you think of it. I'll be seeing you with some more Carcassonne Champions League qualifier matches, hopefully sooner than later. Bye for now.